needs warning?
Oh, I've moved us out.
Oh.
Whoa.
And we're on the air.
Yeah, we are. we're live, and I'm moving the camera all over the place.
Well, a warm welcome to you all. This is our Friday live Carnivore Conversations. I'm JJ. I am a life coach, and I eat mostly meat.
I am Eric. I'm a novelist, and I've been recently informed I'm not a carnivore. So I do eat mostly meat, but you're not a carnivore either. You're having a coffee.
I am.
Hold it up and confess.
Here's my coffee. Whoops. I don't know where the camera is right now. Here is my nitro from the Quick Trip.
Your carnivore card has now been revoked. Gone. You are no longer allowed to consider yourself a carnivore. Sorry, this is our farewell.
It was a good run.
Yeah, we will be back next week with not carnivore conversations.
And I'm actually just going to go back to eating grains and all that crap.
And I'm going to go back to sleeping even worse than I am now. I am not well rested. And it's not because I drank some coffee yesterday morning. It's because we are getting ready to move to a new house.
Yes.
And things, they are tense.
Speaking of where we're going to be, yes. Where are you?
Yeah, let us know in the comments where you exist.
And this is if you're doing a replay too, because we know that we gave you absolutely no warning this week, and we just downright skipped last week.
Yeah, we had to.
Yes, we did. So we would love to know where you are from. We get a lot of people from Australia and Canada.
Yeah, that's true. We do. I'm going to actually type this here.
Yeah.
Where are you from? Whoops.
And if you can't hear us well, we're sorry. That's just how it's going to be. This is the tech setup we have today.
Yes.
And there's nothing we can do about it.
This is the transitional last live in this location. We will be broadcasting live from the Carnivore World Headquarters, 20 minutes away from here. Whenever that'll be next week. We're actually making the move on Sunday.
Yes.
And by making the move, that means we're moving a mattress and my coffee supplies.
Well,
Coffee.
I'm going to bring like a toothbrush and stuff for that, clothing, toothbrush.
On Carnivore, you don't need to brush your teeth.
Well, that is kind of true.
We are not recommending not brushing your teeth because you're a carnivore.
And I do.
I recently did. And by recently, I mean literally just minutes ago. Oh, hi, Lisa.
Oh, hello.
I ate pizza yesterday and I slept like a baby. Did I mention that I work at a pizza place?
Oh, my goodness.
Well, that's not conducive to carnivore habits, working at a pizza place.
Wow, that's got to be an interesting
That would
thing.
be like being a carnivore baker.
Yeah.
I think that would be a tough thing to do.
Are we going to take away her carnivore card?
Well, we don't do that.
Oh, yeah.
We're not the ones who remove it. Others will be along shortly to remove your carnivore card from your possession. So we kid. We joke.
93 days. Excellent. Excellent.
And even though you had pizza yesterday, we think you're still carnivore.
Yeah.
But what do we know? I have coffee. And that, that basically means I don't know anything about the topic. Emily, good morning. Hi from Virginia.
Welcome, Emily.
Really enjoy your videos. Thank you so much. We enjoy making them. Most of the time when we're not trying to get ready to relocate our entire lives. But we have we laugh constantly when we're making these.
But we are moving. We have been in this house for 27 years.
Yeah, it's about time we get out of this place.
So yeah, we are moving. Same region, 20 minutes away. It is a property we have been working on between the buying process and the planning process and the remodeling process. It's been more than 3 years of wait. So
Yeah.
this is pretty exciting.
So it's very stressful, but that doesn't mean it's bad.
No.
We're very blessed. It's a wonderful place. And in our last video, you saw the living room kind of behind us in a blurry view. And so our daughter leaves for college and we immediately upsize our house.
Yeah.
That's just how we are.
But it has always been your dream to have more land.
Yes. I've always wanted more land, and we have land in large quantities now.
Yeah.
Okay. So Lisa says it was her reward for being carnivore. That's dangerous, but you still get to be a carnivore. As long as it doesn't send you down the slippery slope, then I don't have a problem.
Yeah, slippery slope's not good.
Yeah.
But
oh my goodness.
We're all human, and we all...
What?
Yeah, we are. I know it's shocking.
You're holding me to a very high standard. So we let's see.
You've been joking about this carnivore card.
Yeah, I've been joking about it because you may sense that I was mildly provoked, but in truth, I'm provoked about as much as you're seeing. It's kind of amusing to me. But if you've been following our channel for any time, you know that I have this beef aversion, and something has happened. A miracle has happened. I don't know how it's happened. But last week, I said to JJ, I think I want a steak for dinner. And your reaction was?
Huh?
And I said, yeah, I think I want a steak for dinner. She made a steak, and it was amazing. I ate the whole thing. I didn't have to gag down like bite 4 through 12 and then give like 2/3 of it to the dogs. I ate the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then the next day I did it again, and I am back on the steak wagon and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I made a steak for myself yesterday. I didn't quite do a perfect job, and I still liked it. So why did I go from beef aversion, where I could barely eat any steak, to suddenly going, oh, it's good again?
Yeah. Now, that said, he is off hamburger patties.
Well, I would eat them, but they're not as good now to me as a steak.
Yeah.
So it's just really perplexing.
You're phasey.
I'm phasey.
I mean, this is what I've said. It's been an interesting ride cooking and shopping for you in the past.
See, you're able to live with this idea that I'm phasey and say that's the explanation. I have no ability to accept that answer. For me, there's a cause for every effect. And so there was a cause for my aversion, and I don't know what it is, and it bothers me. But in truth, what I should be doing is going, hooray, I like steak. Forget about the causes of not liking steak and just enjoy liking steak and just put the past where it belongs in the past. Do you think I'll do that?
No, and apparently I'm not either, because I'm going, and in the past, you've...
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think it's great that you like steaks. That makes life so much easier. I love it. I just have to, because I prefer steaks. I mean, I will eat burgers and whatever, but it's so nice to have you eating steaks and not have leftovers that I'm trying to, either the dogs get them.
Yeah.
Or I feel guilty and because of the cost, and I'm trying to eat reheated steak for the next 3 days, which isn't always that great. I can do it.
And like when you make like a larger roast and we have leftovers, sometimes it's really great, sometimes it's not, but we try to eat our way through it.
Yeah.
Until it becomes totally unpalatable.
Eat our way through it. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
But reheating a steak I already hated, it's pretty tough.
Not going to happen.
It's pretty tough. If, of course, that comes from a pretty privileged point of view, but still, what am I going to do when there's alternatives?
Yeah.
Last live 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks today.
JJ was called away to talk to the vet because our dog Lucky was not doing well.
No.
And we took him to the vet that night, and we were pretty sure that was going to be the end of Lucky.
We spent the whole day with him.
Yeah, there was a
My
lot of
daughter was
tears.
prepared. We were
Yeah.
all prepared.
And no, he was not done.
He was not done.
But we don't know how much longer we'll have Lucky with us.
Yep.
But right now, he is able to stand up of his own accord.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't do it frequently.
No.
He eats occasionally,
Yep.
not as much as he probably needs to.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't seem to be in pain. So Lucky lives.
Lucky lives. Yeah. Which my daughter was very happy about that. Yeah. She got some extra time with him before she goes up to school. But yeah, he's always been phasey.
I suppose Lucky has been phasey.
He has been with his food. And so it's hard to tell his appetite's definitely lowered, but he also just gets sick of stuff. So we do have him eating right now.
We just wish that when we'd gotten him, we knew now about diet, because we could have maybe saved him at least some decrepitude.
Well, he's always had a decent diet, though. I mean, it's gotten progressively better, but it's been pretty good because I learned from our cats.
All right. These poor people don't want to hear about our dog's diet.
In other words, Eric is bored. Let's move on.
Emily says, steak, heart eyes. Agreed. Finally, I can say, yes, I'm with you on that. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, I did the Carrie Man arms up. It was so delicious motion the other day with steak, so that was really fun. Mm-hmm. Although I saw he had a live with Jen where she cooked the steak for him, and instead of doing the hands up thing, he did the toe tap leg shake, which he says is his new thing for liking steak. So I've got to stay up with the trends on the toxic masculine way to eat meat, because I've been doing this and I should have been doing my leg stomp. So I'll work on it. It's hard to keep up on it.
Did we say good morning to Marla? Is it Marla?
Oh, no.
Hello, Marla. Welcome.
Good morning. I hope that you had some delicious eggs and steak or bacon or something good for your most recent meal.
That reminds me, I am done priming.
Yeah, tell us.
We talked about that a little bit on the last one. I said I thought I was done, and I did prime a couple more days. Again, it was just sort of an intuitive. I felt like I needed to eat those 3 meals. Priming is eating 3 meals a day and eating till you're comfortably stuffed. And so, yeah, earlier this week I was done. I just was like, no, I think I'm ready to wait. And we ate a late dinner too.
Yeah.
That night, previous night. So
are you starving now?
I'm not starving. Oh, because that's what prompted the priming, was I was in this mode of being ravenous. So no, I'm not ravenous. I am a little hungry this morning though. Yesterday was the first day I closed my eating window at about 3:30, so a little earlier in the day, and I could feel it this morning. Okay. Yeah, I could feel it.
Well, I was done eating at, I don't know, 1:30 or 2 o'clock yesterday, and I got mildly hungry towards bedtime, but I was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing how that works. Oh, yeah, I have a note here that we need to apologize.
Yes.
Our last video was terrible, apparently. And it's so funny because when I was editing, I'm like, this is hilarious, because we cracked up like 4 or 5 times during the video. But nobody wants to hear about, 1, circadian rhythms as it relates to carnivore, and 2, they never want to hear that we searched ChatGPT for some information.
So that you didn't have to.
Well, that was part of the bit, but apparently the bit didn't land. So
no.
We will never talk about circadian rhythms again.
I'm not guaranteeing that.
Well, maybe in passing during
but not a context. Whole video.
But yeah, we haven't had a video perform that badly. And it could be my fault for the thumbnail. I got a little cute with the thumbnail, but I have since changed it to something a little more standard. It could be the title. The title might be dull and boring and tedious and repulsive. I don't know. But anyway, we will endeavor to do better because we don't. We actually we do this for our own entertainment. But it's more fun when you're entertained too.
When we get to interact with you, even through the lives and through comments in the other videos as well.
If you enjoy this video, please give it a like. That helps the algo. And I know that you don't know that because
nobody's
surely Lisa, Emily, Sonia, Marla, you're all new to YouTube, so you may not understand how this works. But like and subscribe. It helps the channel, and it helps us reach more people. Sonia, hello from Alabama.
Alabama.
So is it? It must still be summer there. Well, it's fall here. But is it cooling off at all? Are you ready for pumpkin spice, but you can't have it because that's not on the menu? Are you ready to smell other people's pumpkin spice? I definitely was very basic in my Starbucks, and I loved the pumpkin spice season, but I don't think I had pumpkin spice even last year.
I'm not sure you did.
Had it once.
I don't think you did.
Maybe I've transcended. You know what we could do?
What?
We could do a pumpkin spice candle.
Yes, we could.
And then just lick it.
And if it's a beeswax candle,
oh, that's carnivore.
then we can just chew on it.
Genius. But except the pumpkin spice flavoring itself wouldn't be.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That wouldn't be on plan.
That's true.
I think we probably shouldn't lick the candles. At least the last time I was at Yankee Candle, they didn't like it. Sonia says it's still mostly summertime weather. 75 due to some rain bands from Hurricane.
I was kind of wondering about that. If you saw me looking, I was like, okay, where is Alabama in relation to where that went? Mm-hmm. And I wasn't able to puzzle it out. So
75 sounds perfect to me. We're having the typical Wisconsin September it can be quite warm but dry. And you combine that with the changing colors of the leaves and the generally sunny skies. It is perfection.
It is lovely.
It is the time of year to be in this part of Wisconsin because it's almost always beautiful.
It is lovely.
So our daughter is headed back to college this weekend, but you took her to Jimmy John's.
Yes.
And you had a shock.
Yes. I last night she was packing. She asked me to bring her Jimmy John's. I placed my online order, and with the tip, it was over $9. Her sandwich was $8.06, and then I added a tip, and it was over $9. Well, our Jimmy John's is right next to the grocery store, so I stopped in to get some steaks. So I bought a 4-pack of strip steaks, end of the day, ran them through the checkout, did the math. Our steaks were $8.75 a piece.
Mm-hmm.
So my daughter's Jimmy John's with the tip was more expensive than a steak. Shocking.
So the lesson here is to not tip at Jimmy John's?
Well, look, even if I didn't tip at Jimmy John's,
Yeah.
$8.06 for the sub, $8.73, I think it was, 74 for a steak.
And this wasn't a giant sub.
No, it was a slim. So it didn't even have half the stuff in it, right? It was just meat and bread and cheese. That's it.
A slim. It seems counterintuitive at a Jimmy John's.
But, prices, I know people talk about carnivore being very expensive, and it can be. But when I was holding that sandwich and holding that 4-pack of steaks, it did not compute as being more expensive at all.
Especially when you look at the nutrient content.
Right.
And that one is not even food. Except, does she have salami and ham on it or something?
It has ham and salami, yep. And not a lot. It's not even a double meat. It's just a few slices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from a nutrition standpoint, the nutrition per dollar it can't even be compared.
Was not even close. So yeah, it was just really, really shocking to me. To have it just there in my front seat of the car. I would show you the picture. I took a picture, but we don't have our setup. I was like, holy cow, this is incredible. Yeah.
Well, I guess we're not going to Jimmy John's anytime. Dang it, and I thought they were going to sponsor our channel.
I when I have gone there, which I haven't in ages, I would have to get the lettuce wrap as well. So then it would be a lettuce wrap for that price too. Yeah.
Yeah. The lettuce wrap thing is just kind of a...
You guys would always make fun of my lettuce tube.
The lettuce tube is sad.
And then I'd be starving. It would be so funny. I'd run to Jimmy John's, get a lettuce tube on the way to play rehearsal, and I'd be starving, and my daughter would be like, "You're hungry because you had a lettuce tube."
So this is the cue for Alan when you watch the replay. Here's the spot.
Right now.
We'll talk about the lettuce right here.
Yeah, yeah. But again, this is pre-carnivore days, not in recent memory that I've gone to Jimmy John's for myself. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, I have been doing a lot of binging of Dr. Boz.
Yeah, I told you about Dr. Boz last year.
You told me about Dr. Boz, very early on.
And so that means you should watch her when I tell you. Now, if you discovered her through the algorithm by yourself, I'd be like, who's this Dr. Boz?
Right. But I gave you credit. I gave you credit for talking about it.
Dr. Boz is also known as the other Annette.
Yes, the other Annette.
The other Annette. And Annette is in the house. Oh, I'm here. Less than 1 month until my birthday now. Well, we're not going to sing you happy birthday until October. And you still need to send us the address to send you whatever gift we're going to send you.
But do you have the address correct now? Wasn't it missing or something?
Yeah, and the thing is that it's on our profile, but apparently unless you're me, you can't see it when you go to our profile, and I don't know why that is. But I will go to our profile, and then I will tell you what the address is, because I typed it in there myself. And it is...
It is. I feel like we should have a drum roll.
That's not it.
If we only had our soundboard, we could put it
every time we do this, I have to go. I don't remember what it was because I think it's like Eric and JJ life at Gmail, but I want to make sure I'm getting that correct.
Oh, she has a request. Real Wisconsin cheese.
Oh, we have access to that. There's a cheese castle.
There is. If you've seen, I'm going to go back to Dr. Boz in a minute. So if you're waiting to hear anything about that, it's coming. On that 70s show, which takes place in a fictional town in Wisconsin, Jackie works at the Cheese Chalet or something it's called. And it is based off of the Mars Cheese Castle, which they did not, I don't know if they ever dressed up in little Swiss outfits. I think that was pure TV. But yeah, there is a cheese castle near us.
I've got to do this the hard way.
Oh, boy.
I've actually got to open the thing. And you'd think, why don't you know your own email address? Well, that's a good question. The answer is, I don't email myself.
There it is.
It is jjandericlife@gmail.com. Feel free to just, all of you, spam us incessantly. JJ and Eric Life.
And that's spelled out Ann, not an ampersand Ann.
And I'm going to put that in the chat and add it right here.
That's us.
That is it. If you email that, it will come into our inbox or our spam. And funny story, Dave Mack reached out to us to do an interview with us. And you may have seen we were on his channel. We weren't on his channel because of that email he sent us. We sent him an email saying, hey, we could be on your show. And he's like, I actually sent you an email about this. Well, it was in my spam folder.
And it happened like they crossed almost. It was kind of funny.
That was very funny.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
So I recently watched I was insomnia recently by in the last couple of years. I watched an old Happy Days episode on YouTube. And what I realized is that all of the or a good chunk of the Wisconsin people on Happy Days have New York accents.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened. Now, I do kind of get like the DeFazios on Laverne and Shirley, like her dad is Italian, and Chicago's a huge Italian population, and we do get some Italians up here, but how we have New York accents
it's Hollywood magic.
on Happy Days, I don't know. So yeah, I have been binging Dr. Boz. And Eric talked about her long ago.
So I get all the credit for what she's about to say.
All of the credit. And for me at that time, I told you, I'm like, I'm not interested in chasing ketones at all. It's just not where I'm at this point, right? Mm-hmm. And I think I'm interested in chasing ketones. No, I've been fascinated. I'll talk more about this in upcoming videos. I'm still taking in her information. But her basis is really around that you're not in ketosis unless you are in ketosis. Like you can measurably prove you're in ketosis. And why this is intriguing me right now are those sort of things that you're going, carnivore isn't fixing this. And maybe I just need more patience. But one of the things you have is very high triglycerides.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And one of the things I've dealt with is the creep of fasting insulin and blood sugar numbers and A1C, which can be explained away. I get the whole red blood cells live longer, blah, blah, blah stuff. But I'm always like, okay, but what about the insulin and what about the blood sugar? So I'm just curious if making sure I'm in a deeper ketosis, which I've experienced more of since I've been fasting more, if that is part of my answer and maybe yours as well. Not that I'm going to force anything on you. So just been watching a lot of her stuff. And what I've also realized is that it somewhat aligns with Steak and Butter Gal, because Dr. Boz is big on fasting to get into a deeper ketosis, but doing it from a well-fed place. Mm-hmm. And Steak and Butter Gal, her whole priming concept, which I just did, and then moving into fasting, it seems like they achieve sort of the same thing, but they're going about it from different perspectives. So I find that interesting too. Okay. So to be continued on, what I'm doing around this. But one thing we talked about in a recent video was how the body burns exogenous ketones, right? We burn it. We can't store it. We can use them, but we can't store them. And so when I said something about exogenous ketones this week, you were like, well, aren't we trying to get rid of them? Or something like that. Right, yeah. And no. That's not that we're trying to get rid of them, but we burn them. We prioritize burning them above our own ketones, our own fat, etc. But she contends that having the presence of ketones helps encourage our body to utilize and make our own ketones. So she prescribes for a short period of time as you're transitioning and being fat adapted. She does advise exogenous ketones.
She happens to sell them as well.
And she does have, yes, she does.
Which doesn't mean that they're not a good strategy.
No, but I'm intrigued.
You had them.
Yep.
And so I drank them because I'd had a really poor night's sleep and I'd had a headache and stuff. And you're like, hey, try some exogenous ketones. Maybe that'll help you get through the day. And it did. Mm-hmm. Well, it helped me get through the morning.
Yeah.
But man, that tasted bad.
Yeah, we did the Pucker Up, which is very expensive. And there's nothing, it's just ketones, period. They're very, very sour. And I'm not doing them all the time at this point because I've believe I'm keto adapted, but I'm experimenting with them a little bit. And experimenting when I close my window and just little things. Yeah.
I know that Dr. Boz likes to use the Keto Mojo and the
Yes.
GKI, which is glucose ketone index,
Yes.
which is a calculation. And in the Keto Mojo app, it shows you whether you're in therapeutic or whatever ketosis based upon that, with the idea that if your blood sugar is high and your ketones are kind of meh, that's not really a good ketosis place to land.
No.
And I did have heard Dr. Berry talk about it. He was very skeptical about it, but I don't know if that skepticism was based in any extra knowledge or just skepticism.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to make of it.
And I don't know either, but I'm very curious. And yeah, with her ratio, which is sort of GKI-ish, you have to be at a certain level, she says, to lose weight. So people who are stalled, she wants them to produce a certain amount of ketones. And then autophagy increases. So she's got these levels where autophagy likely increases. And I'm not real interested in the weight loss at this point, but I am interested in how I feel when I'm in deep ketosis and my mood. And of course, autophagy is great. I like that. So yeah, and like I said, I'm curious that if I play with this a little bit more when we move, because right now life is a little crazy, that we'll see what happens with my blood sugars. Yeah.
So all the stupid things I say on this is only 1% of the stupid things I'm thinking during this. And what prompts this is Annette's comment. It's a good thing I can't post memes in the live chat. I'd be really annoying then, because pretty much the whole train of thought is just one stupid joke after another. JJ, we have a number of people on this who are watching, and they have not liked.
Oh, really?
They have not liked our video.
Oh.
They don't like it.
Oh.
I don't know why they're watching it.
Maybe they've got a whole string of things going through their head as we.
I know, I understand. I'm a little stingy with the like. There's a threshold that it must be crossed. And then I will happily give the like. But sometimes I'm like, I don't know. I'm gonna wait and see. I'm not sure about this. If they earned my like. Well,
we've got some.
Hey, they're coming in. But one of the things that definitely doesn't make me do it is when people start shaming me into it.
You get a thumbs down.
There is no thumbs down on the live thing, which is great because I don't know if my ego can handle it. All right. Marcy says, I chase ketones and GKI. Tomorrow I start a sardine fast. Oh. Bought some fancy sardines. Those are the ones in the tuxedos. Mm-hmm. And those are expensive.
As you know, if you've been watching, I don't do fish at all. But I'm excited for that. Keep us posted, Marcy, because this whole sardine fasting is supposed to be pretty incredible, and people are skeptical about it, but the results are amazing. I'm curious, Marcy, how long have you been chasing keto? I don't want it to sound derogatory. How long have you been doing that type of plan? Has it been part of your plan since the beginning, or is it new? Let me know.
Yeah. And the fancy sardines, are they the fancy ones that are in soybean oil? Like we saw at Kroger?
I don't remember. But Dr. Boz does want you to take them with oil. She often says drain the oil that's in and add your own. Yeah,
I've found that the ones that are in olive oil, it's a little hit or miss. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you don't know the quality of the olive oil. And they can bother my stomach a little bit. But when I get them in spring water, then they don't bother my stomach. So I don't know. Who knows? But we were at some grocery store, and there was a Kroger brand. It wasn't a Kroger because we don't have Kroger.
Pick and Save is a Kroger.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
And there were sardines packed in soybean oil, and I was just like,
yeah.
Those sardines lived their whole little tiny swimmy lives, only to be harvested and stuffed in a tin of seed oil. And they're going, wait. I'm healthy. I'm full of all of the good fish fats.
And what did you do?
Yeah. So Kroger, you've got some karma headed your way for all the millions of sardines you've
Those
squandered.
poor sardines.
I feel bad for them.
Yeah.
I didn't buy them either, so they're probably still there. TK0627 finally caught you guys live. Good morning from Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Ah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Is it winter there yet? Has Lake Louise frozen over?
They have I believe, let me know. I believe you have a holiday. We had Labor Day, and I feel like you have a holiday around that time as well. Or is it October? I don't know.
I can't keep track of our own holidays. I don't follow others. Marcy says take
Okay.
electrolytes with ketones.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be sensible.
Which I have put these ketones in Element electrolytes, and we are not sponsored by Element. And that was very tasty. I liked that a lot.
Oh, no. I guess one of the sardine tins they're packed in butter.
Really?
That's fancy.
I didn't know you could do that.
Oh, wait a minute. One is considered champagne quality.
Ah.
Well, coming from where we live in Wisconsin, where Miller beer originates in Milwaukee, their slogan is they're the champagne of beers. Mm-hmm. So champagne doesn't carry quite the same weight. No, that's interesting. I'm interested to know about these fancy sardines.
I found a couple of tins of sardines in the cabinet the other day.
Yeah.
As I was cleaning out stuff.
They're still good.
Yeah, I know. I didn't throw them away.
Annette says, I don't trust them when they say olive oil. I always think they're lying.
There might have to be a percentage of olive oil in there, like to call it olive oil. But
maybe 10% olive oil. Sonia, I can't get past the smell of sardines. Any suggestions on how to push through? Well, JJ doesn't push through.
No.
One is to transform into a cat, which isn't possible. So, probably not my best suggestion.
I'm just remembering that.
She's remembering the lawyer. How many of you guys?
And Dean.
How many of you guys saw the the lawyer showing up to a Zoom court during the pandemic, and somebody had put the Zoom filter of a cat head on, and he didn't have the technological savvy to turn it off, and so he was trying to tell the judge that I'm not a cat.
But previous to that, like a year earlier, we actually had that situation on a Zoom meeting with someone we know who was the cat head and couldn't stop.
Anyway, I had never had sardines, and I heard they were good for me, so I got a tin. I cracked them open, and I salted them, and I think I might even mix them with eggs to try to get them down, and I didn't like that. So what I do is I just make sure there's plenty of salt on them. And then I just eat them straight out of the tin like a savage. I don't know.
Did the smell bother you at all when you started?
It didn't bother me that bad. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I can eat sushi, but sushi doesn't smell fishy. So I wish I could give you a tip on that. Mm. But maybe there's other preparation strategies that can kind of mask it. Or
I feel like Rachel from Two Crazy Ketos treats it like tuna fish. She might add some good mayo, not soybean mayo.
It's hard if you're doing a sardine fast. You don't want to.
No, not for the fast.
Not sure what to do about that.
But one might want to start eating sardines before committing to a fast.
That would be smarter than my first idea, which is to transform into a cat. Wow, I should have let you answer that one. I feel stupid now. Oh my God. Sorry if we're not taking your questions too seriously. The answers we don't know.
Yeah.
But I understand that it's 30 euros for 6 cans.
Oh, that is.
So that's €5 a can. And I don't know what the exchange rate is now for dollars, but it sounds expensive.
Yeah.
So I hope they're delicious.
But again, if you're fat, I mean, if that's what you're eating on your fast period.
than
It's cheaper than Jimmy John's by a lot.
that for sure. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you're right. I years prior to the lawyer having his cat head
Yeah.
fiasco, well, I was working with a consultant back in business days, and his kids or grandkids had done the same thing, and he could not get the cat head turned off.
Oh, it was so funny.
And he was talking to me, and I lost one of my 9 lives because it was just the most unbelievably funny thing I'd ever seen to hear his voice, because he's this sort of grandfatherly, bearded, older gentleman talking through a cat mouth.
It was so funny.
It was so good.
Uh,
Let's see here. We've had snow in the mountains, but today's high is 18 degrees Celsius, 64 Fahrenheit.
Thank you for the conversion.
Thank you, because I wouldn't have known. But that sounds like pretty good, pretty nice weather. Sonia says, you guys are cracking me up. But yes, I'll have to experiment before committing to a sardine fast.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, neighbor in Michigan.
Curtis. Good. What is it? Is it still morning? Yes. Good morning, Curtis. I lose track of time really quickly. Hope it's beautiful weather for you in Michigan. It is gorgeous here in Wisconsin today.
And several days of the week, several times a day, you go, what day is it?
Yeah, I do that.
And you did it when you were in the corporate world, too. It's not new.
Yeah, it's just how it is. So that's a sardine fast. Now, I've seen people do butter fasts,
Yep.
which I have not been tempted to do.
Yep.
But I could actually see doing it now that I found a good Eaton butter.
Yeah.
Because up until recently, it was hard for me to just eat butter by itself. But that Vermont butter,
Vermont Creamery, I believe it's called.
I like the unsalted. It's pretty expensive.
Yeah. It's, approximately the same as a Kerrygold.
But if I just was going to just eat butter, that's what I would eat, because it's creamy. It's not super buttery. And
we get ours at Walmart.
Closer to a cheese kind of experience.
And Walmart's been out of the unsalted for a couple weeks now.
Maybe it's because I'm consuming it all, or there's very low demand. I don't know what it is. We had Sonia says, "I love your laugh, JJ." We
Thank you.
We do get that a lot. And then we had a comment on one of our videos today. Someone wanting to know what JJ stands for.
JJ stands for Jennifer Joy. Jennifer Joy. I can give you the whole spiel about my name. My dad liked the name Jennifer from Jennifer Juniper. My mom supposedly was going to be named Holly Joy, but she was born a month early, and her mother, her extremely Catholic mother, named her Mary. So I think Holly was probably not ever on the table. If she's watching this, I'm sorry, Mom. I don't think it was really on the table. So anyway, I was named Jennifer Joy. My dad always called me Jennifer, but my mom wanted to be able to call me JJ, so I've been called JJ by most people since I was born.
But not by your grandmother.
But not by my grandmother, no, or my dad. That's that side of the family. And that side of the family, my dad, my grandma, always Jennifer. And the others were a bit of a mix, especially after my dad has passed. It's mostly JJ now over there.
I call you JJ most of the time.
Yes. You dabbled with Jennifer a little bit when we started dating.
Yep. But most frequently, I just call her Jay.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, we're just get lazy after a while.
Two syllables is tough.
You don't call me Air.
I
so
don't.
That's good.
No, but I
connotation.
Our younger dog is named Arrow, and I will call you Arrow sometimes. And you said that you called him Eric the other day.
I did. I don't know what happened there. So,
yeah, or I'll call him. Yeah.
Those of you who have multiple siblings, surely you've been called by all of their names. I was the youngest, so I was my brother's names, and then my name came last. Mm-hmm. Almost every time they were mad at me, they just run down the list until they got to me. But I'm not going to dox them on YouTube right now, because I don't know if they want to be doxed.
I did not anticipate having an issue between Arrow and Eric, though, because they're spelled differently. So, I mean, that wasn't even a thought.
True, and one's an actual dog. And one's a human being. So that would, you think you'd have
But
that ordered it in your
but it
mind?
does. I mean, obviously, it starts the same in the mouth.
Yeah. Yeah. So when do you guys move to the property? Yeah, we did say earlier, Sunday.
Yes. And by move, we mean moving our mattress and our toothbrushes, and that's about it. And we are probably going to sell this place sometime in 2025 is the plan. Early in the year. So we've got a little time to move stuff over.
Yeah. Oh, now butter is different story. I have to restrain myself from just eating slices off the block. I don't have that problem, but I can understand that it can be a problem.
Yeah.
But have you ever tried a butter fast? And or I mean, we just saw that fancy sardines are packed in butter, so maybe you can combine the sardines with butter in some proportion that make the sardines more palatable. You see how genius works? It just takes different things and puts them together. Doesn't require really any intelligence at all.
But that is interesting though, the idea of the butter. The butter might be helpful.
The butter
You
sardine.
might be genius on that.
Should we do a video on butter sardines?
Maybe that's what I need to eat fish is just a
What would the thumbnail be? It would be like the title be "The Most Delicious Sardines You've Ever Had." And then you would be going on the thumbnail. I like the idea. I don't know if it'll taste good, but we can try it. TK says, I'm 10 months older than my twin brother and... Wait a minute. Oh, the brother and sister are twins. Got it. We were always called together. Yeah, I'm sure. That really confused me for a second. No, I have not done a butter fast. That's even too extreme for me. Okay. So now we know that Sonia's extreme, but butterfast is too extreme.
too extreme. Well, aren't we all having extreme on this extreme diet?
Well, carnivore itself, yeah, is an extreme diet that only toxic men do. So I don't know what to tell you. But I suppose since we're all here together, we can all talk about our LDL, the bad saturated fat that's filling our arteries, the gout we have, our bad kidney disease, the terrible things that have happened to our skin and our guts because of eating all this meat. And we've found out this week that we also have diabetes because we're eating meat. So I guess we're all in this together. The struggle is real. That through all of those maladies that we've given ourselves through carnivore, we still insist on doing it.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. We still are doing it. It's crazy.
Little fishies bathing in butter.
I think that's the thumbnail.
Is that the thumbnail? Well, I could have an AI make that.
And I can hold a little scrub brush. I can be like scrubbing their backs.
Oh. See,
Which the new house has a bathtub.
It does. The current house has a bathtub.
Oh yeah, it's in the basement. It does.
It's not as nice.
No.
How are we doing? Oh, we're almost at parity with likes to viewers, concurrent viewers. Now, of course, concurrent viewers means that many have come and gone. They got a load of what we were doing, and they're like, "Oh my god, these olds." There's two olds on the screen talking about eating meat, and then they're because they're Gen Zs, and they're like, There's olds on YouTube, and they're talking about meat. You'll never believe this.
That reminds me, my daughter's friend was extremely intrigued that we had a channel, carnivore channel, and I guess she's watched. So if you're watching, hey, you know who you are. But our daughter had to reassure her that we aren't like the crazy TikTok carnivores.
Oh, I don't know them.
So, and I asked her, I'm like, well, what's the TikTok carnivore? And apparently she considers the crazy TikTok carnivores to be the ones who eat raw meat. Yeah. Which some of you may do. And if you do, that's fine. I've had beef carpaccio once or twice in my life. But, Yeah, apparently that's
The center of yesterday's steak that I made was
well,
100% raw.
that is true.
And I
Yeah.
ate it anyway. It was a little too chewy for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what happened was I was cooking the steak, and then outside the window I saw a delivery truck was arriving that I had to go talk to. And so I'm like, my steak! And I took it off the heat, and I went out and dealt with that. And then 10 minutes later, I came back in and had to put it back on the heat. And the meat thermometer was just absolutely lied to me.
Well, it's my second favorite meat thermometer over there because I've still got the good one here. So
pro tip: if you have a second favorite meat thermometer, throw it away. There's a reason that it's your second favorite, and it's not a good reason. It's not because it's not sharp enough to poke into the steak. It's because it gives you an incorrect reading. Now, it has a cal button on it to calibrate it, but we have no instructions, so I have no idea how to calibrate it.
I'm not sure we can get instructions.
No.
Because, those are just it's just like not Canadian, like Chinese.
Oh, wait a minute. You've just dissed a few of our viewers
know,
here.
and it just came out of my mouth. I didn't mean it that way.
You know what that was? That was a Freudian diss.
So, no, I think they're just, these are old Chinese thermometers.
And that says that a doctor didn't like her high LDL, and you laughed before they went down the statin road. I stopped her and said I'd get a CAC score. She said yes.
Mm-hmm.
Good move. I have, during the course of my life, taken 3 different statins, and they all gave me neuropathy.
Mm-hmm.
And fortunately, my last doctor, he was like, yeah, I don't want you taking, if you're having that side effect, his view was, what other side effects are you having that are beneath your notice that will develop over time? And I was like, good thinking. I like that. Marcy is changing the subject dramatically. Which book series of yours is best to start with? Well, that depends on what genre you like to read. If you like young adult science fiction, you're only going to get 3 genres to choose from. Or if just sci-fi in general, I would start with the Scion Chronicles, which is probably my best received series. It's a 4-book series. It's not Scion's Chronicles. That was an autocorrect. But that is on a Caribbean island. There are these teenagers, of course, because it's young adult, who discover their clones. Mm-hmm. And no, it wasn't based on the movie The Island.
No.
I never saw The Island until I had finished writing this series. But they're there for nefarious purposes that they learn, and then they have to fight against, and it's great. Mm-hmm. And then the more recent stuff is Starside Saga, which is my passion project. I am currently working on book 9, which is the last or second to last book of a very long series, obviously, and that's pure just fantasy. And my inspiration for that is always Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time. Although it doesn't steal from that, he is my muse for that. Under a pseudonym, I have a book, a thriller called Polar Midnight.
I like that one.
By Eric Shaw. This is she liked it because it wasn't science fiction or fantasy. And that's just a straight thriller featuring a young protagonist, a billionaire's daughter who goes with her father to Dead Horse, Alaska, to the oil fields. And unfortunately, there's a Russian sabotage invasion at the oil wells, and she has to contend with it. And she does. Great fun.
I like Scion Chronicles, too. I've not gotten very far into Starside. And what I read, was a while ago. I think I'm waiting till you're done with that one, and then I will read Starside series.
It's extraordinary.
You tell me the story. Mm-hmm.
Starside is about a young thief girl who develops magic powers. What could be better than that? And of course, she becomes like amazingly powerful towards the end. And there's dragons, there's huge explosions, there's magic battles, there's humor, there's intrigue, there's all
There are
kinds of fun
cats.
stuff. There's telepathic cats that talk too.
We're going back to the cat topic.
Yeah. Freudian dis. I like that. Sonia, cholesterol is 254, my LDL 173, VLDL 9, HDL 72, trigs 55. LDL was 101 before starting this way of eating, but I am not concerned.
No, you got some nice numbers.
I am jealous of your trigs and your HDL. Because having been carnivore for quite a while, mine just have not responded that way. So we'll see what happens. Don't tell me it's the coffee. I already did that experiment. If you want to provoke Eric, go after his coffee.
Yeah. But Dr. Boz has reasoning around that.
I don't want to hear any reasons. I'm not open to reasons.
All right. I'm not telling you then.
Let's see. Umbra. Where was I? Saw something up here. Still having some issues.
Umbra was with us last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wish I could give you more guidance on that. We're having a ton of texts from our contractor coming in. The only thing that's worked reliably for me, morning sunlight and eating dunch/linner and not eating later in the evening at all. Those things have helped me, but that could be very particular to me.
Which helped spawn the circadian rhythm video that
Nobody likes.
So
Yeah. We just did a video about this last week. So I dare you to watch it and make our stats improve by a considerable percentage with every view. That's a lot of power for one person. TK, I've been thinking about starting a channel, but I am too introverted. You guys are a favorite channel I tune into. Love your channel. Well, thank you so much. That means a lot to us. And I am quite introverted in real life.
Oh, yes.
So if you were here in the room with me, we'd be having a very different experience. I wouldn't be mean or anything.
No.
At least not on purpose. I found out after high school was out, I met up with one of my high school buddies, and that's when I found out that my name is Eric Kent Edstrom, and so he's like Eric Kent, arrogant, and he always said that. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, you're so arrogant, and I had to have this moment of cognitive dissonance because the arrogance was completely at odds with the total lack of self-confidence that I had during high school. So I could not make these two views of me, the one I held and the one that he held. And what I found out was, no, I was an introvert and I came across in a certain way. But I couldn't help it. So
I concur with your friend.
That I was arrogant?
That's how it could come off as.
You knew me then.
Yeah.
And you were stuck up snob. So
yeah, I was stuck up. He was arrogant. And now we're a perfect pair.
yeah, we are. It worked out great.
It did. We eventually grew to like each other. Before we got married, not like after.
It didn't stop at like.
It did not stop like.
I'm interested in the circadian rhythm. Just have a lot of have not had a lot of time, but we'll watch it soon. Well, the good news is that YouTube doesn't tell us who watched our videos.
So we don't have to feel.
We assume that if you comment, you watched it, but that's not actually a fair assumption. Which you know from seeing comments on other videos where you're like, wait a minute, if they had watched that, they wouldn't have said that.
Yes, we do get that. Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute, you didn't actually watch the video.
Yeah. But we had a lot of fun with that one.
Especially that one about carnivore gut. The thumbnail had a gorilla, and but the title was carnivore gut, and someone immediately commented, "Gorillas aren't vegetarians, vegans." And I didn't respond, but somebody else said, yeah, they talk about that right in the same video you just commented on. And their reply was, I don't have time. I love that. You had time to comment about
Twice.
something you didn't watch. Yeah,
Twice.
twice. But I'm giving you all the perception that I care deeply about this, and I don't actually.
Right.
The Russians are coming.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you tell our generation?
Yeah, we're the Red Dawn generation, right? So let's see. Yeah, if you're enjoying this video, definitely give us a like. We have a video coming up on Sunday. I hope you get.
Yeah.
Because it is not our usual thing. And if you lack a sense of humor, or you're one of the people out there who cannot understand sarcasm, it will not be for you.
No, it will not.
And that means that but I think, this is my feeling, is that if someone is sticking with us watching this live,
yeah,
they understand our sense of humor, and they will go, oh, I get what they're doing, ha ha ha. But so there's a good filter here that you probably will like it. But it is my experience that exactly 1/3 of the population of the world has no ability to detect sarcasm. And if you have a dry sense of humor, they just think you're stupid. And that can be frustrating when you're being hilarious and people think you're just stupid.
Now, you said a 1/3, and that makes me think of something that you won't care about.
Okay.
But you guys might be interested.
I'll stop listening.
I don't know. Yeah. So as I said, I am a life coach. And one of the concepts that we work with clients on is talking about 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, which is this idea that 1/3 of the population is going to think you're awesome, love you, great. 1/3 of the population is going to have absolutely no response to you. You're just, whatever. And 1/3 of the population is going to not like you, period. And that we spend all our time focused on the 2/3 trying to get them to like us. Mm-hmm. Rather than focusing and just being with the 1/3 community that does like us. And we take that for granted. So thank you for being our 1/3.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's been one of the great joys of our lives.
Yeah.
What you're saying reminds me of, this may come as a shock to you, mm-hmm. but there was a time in my life when I was extremely judgmental.
What?
I know. But the thing,
you hit it well.
I did not. In high school and beyond, I'm afraid to say, I was very much into music and playing guitar. I had hair and it was long, and I had strong opinions about rock music and which bands were good and which ones were terrible. And it was to the extent that I forbade people to like certain things. Now, they didn't comply, and I had no enforcement mechanism except for contempt, and that didn't have a lot of stuff. But I remember having this breakthrough moment where I was like, and I'm not going to name the band because I don't want to alienate anybody, but there was a popular kind of 80s, 90s rock band that I thought were stupid. And I thought their fans were stupid because they were their fans. And then one day I was looking at their album sales, and I was like, yeah, I don't think they're stupid. I think they've sold many, 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 many tens of millions of albums. Maybe they're just not my cup of tea. And that's okay. And that the fact that they have connected with this huge audience means that they're doing something right. And that was a huge growth moment for young Eric. And I had to do a lot of self-reflection. It related to the topic.
It did. And it goes back to maybe why your friend thought Eric Kent. Yeah. I mean, did you chastise him?
Did I chastise?
For his music preferences?
The young me?
No, the friend in school.
Oh, I was horrible. If they bought a CD, I mean, that was after the transition to CDs. If they bought a CD and the band and they confessed, and I had made my decision about that band on behalf of the universe, I wasn't good.
We have a service guy here. I think I need to attend to.
Do you want to go check out what
Yeah.
he's looking? Oh, he's the generator.
Do I need to talk to him now?
Just tell him where it is.
All right.
Just tell him where to go. Oh my goodness. Let me look here. Curtis, you two are a joy to watch. Thank you for sharing your journey. Well, it's been our absolute pleasure. We started this channel on kind of a whim, and it's been so much fun. It's been a delight. Let's see. Dry humor. I loved watching Bob Newhart for that very reason. We just saw Bob Newhart on some old YouTube show, and I think he was on a Dean Martin special show or something.
Yeah.
It was not funny. But the reason it wasn't was because Dean Martin had never seen the script. They had never practiced it. And it just didn't work.
Well,
it would have been much better if he would have stayed out of it.
and the sort of narrator who was reflecting back on it said that when Bob Newhart would come on, he would take his monologues and then try to to convert it, and
But he always did the phone call bit, right? It's like, but I can't do that one. But he just passed away recently.
Yeah.
And I was thinking he could have done so many bits about the modern era. And name your topic.
Oh.
Let's see here. And that says, okay, Eric, which bands are in your Gen X playlist? All of them. Just everybody can love whatever band they want. I'm not going to bite. But I will tell you some of my favorites.
Yeah.
And actually,
Share your favorites.
most of my favorite bands I inherited from my brothers who were pre-Gen X.
Yeah.
One solidly in the boomer, and I don't know what the in-between was. Kind of a late boomer.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of rock bands from the 70s that I grew up listening to that I really loved, like Boston, Foreigner, Styx, Journey, Kansas. But then my own music tended more towards the metal bands of the 80s. So
It was so funny, though, because my parents had me when they were fairly young, quite not super young, but my mom was 18, my dad was like 20.
mm-hmm.
And so your bands were my dad's bands,
Yeah.
which was bizarro.
But I also grew up listening to a lot of country music because my dad loved hee-haw.
Yes.
My very first concert was Johnny Cash and Freddie Fender.
Oh,
I was a little kid.
was that at the fair?
It was at Alpine Valley.
Oh.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
There were thousands of people there in a venue that would hold like 20, 30,000. Let's see. You guys are young of spirit, not old. Also, with your new way of eating, you are not even halfway through your life. Now that's what I want to hear. That is the way of looking at it. Totally. Jonathan Winters, man, I haven't seen him in 8. I mean, obviously he's probably dead now, but he was also in that Dean Martin.
Yeah,
special.
he was.
He did that. He did the Waiter with the Fly.
No, that wasn't him.
No, wait, that was no,
it was not. It was I can see his face, but he's Italian. It was an Italian comedian who's been gone a long time, and his son is an actor as well.
wow.
Dom DeLuise.
That's true. And this is what you come here for, is for us to try to remember things on
you.
camera with you watching. We have now exceeded more likes than concurrent viewers, so that's a nice goal to have achieved. This has been extraordinarily fun. we need to wrap it up because we have a move coming up and I've got so many things I need to get on doing,
I'm taking my daughter out for brunch.
including editing Sunday's video,
Yeah.
which is going to be a weird one.
Yeah.
So hopefully it works. It's in the vein of our doctor's office video, but it's not the same concept.
No.
So we'll see if it works.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay. Thank you all for watching. Enjoy your weekend, and we will see you next.
Hopefully next Friday is the
Friday.
plan. We don't know what time.
Hopefully.
And we will be at the new house again. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.